This is how you can start making $5,000 per week with just $300. In the tutorial of this video, I'm gonna teach you several things. But number one, I'm gonna teach you how you can turn $300 into $5,000 or into even more money. And then I'm gonna teach you exactly the strategy, the easiest strategy that you're gonna learn, like pretty much that you can use every single day, that is going to make you $5,000 a week with a $300 investment. I know this sounds crazy, but this is not a clickbait video, or this is not some sort of show-off video that I'm just gonna sell you something. No, I'm gonna teach you exactly how you can get right now, let's say $300, that this is fake money, by the way. These 3 bills of $100, well, actually I got 4. I'm gonna teach you how to get this and turn it into $5,000 per week. If after watching this video, you had this or even more, and you end up broke, it's really not my fault. It's your fault. But in order to learn that, you gotta watch the entire video. So let's begin. Hey everyone, Christian here on YouTube. Welcome to a brand new video for the channel. In this video, I'm gonna share with you how with only $300, you can start making $5,000 a week. And I'm gonna give you a step-by-step tutorial. But hey, if you're new to my channel and you're into Forex trading, crypto trading, or any type of making money online, this channel is for you. Hit that subscribe button below and activate that notifications bell icon so that you get a notification of every new video that I upload. With that being said, let's begin. There's a revolution right now when it comes to prompt firms. For those of you who are not familiar with what is a prop firm, basically they are companies that use large capitals and they look for people who actually can trade with that money. Let's say, let me just give you an example. I have $500,000 or $1 million and I'm not a good trader, but I'm looking for a trader that proves to be good so that I can give him a certain amount of money so that he can trade for me. And when he makes money or she makes money, we can split the profits. 90% for them because they made the money and 10% for me for putting the capital. That's basically what a prompt firm is. This is a revolution when it comes to the Forex world because this didn't exist years ago. And if they did, barely a few people would actually know about this. But this actually has come to change the business world and the trading world, specifically because you don't need big amounts of money in order to make a lot of money. This is some sort of fusion between people who has the money but don't know how to trade to people that don't have the money but they know how to trade. Does that make sense? There's a huge business going on behind these prop firms, and all we can do is pretty much leverage from them, take advantage of their capital and make money ourselves. So you gotta keep that in mind. Now that brings me to the topic, what is Hola Prime? Hola Prime is a prop firm that I've been using for months now, and that it's right now the top prop firm in the world. Many reasons why. We can get into comparisons, but some of you probably already know that I've traded with FTMO, I've traded with EA Funding, I've traded with X Trader Funding, and bad experiences have actually come along with all of these companies. Now, with Hola Prime, one thing that I loved in regards to it is that they actually focused on the main issues that these companies actually had, such as slow withdrawals, bunch of issues with their platform that made you lose money, and so on. Hola Prime is by far the best prop firm in the world right now. If you are interested on going into the prop firm world, I would recommend you to use this specific company. I'm gonna have the link to it in the description of this video, and if you use the promo code BLW15, you get a 15% off on any account that you decide to get. So this is Hola Prime. Now, this is an interesting question. What can you do with $300? What to do with it, Chris? Look, this is prop money, by the way, or plain money. But let's say you have $300. What do? You got many options actually. You can go and spend it on Amazon. I love shopping on Amazon. You can go to the nearest mall and buy clothing, buy toys, whatever you want to, whatever you're into, or you can try to replicate or to use the money to create more money. I'm not saying everybody has $300, but most likely, or 95, 99% of the people watching this video do have 300. And if you don't have them in cash, you might have it at the end of the month on a paycheck. You might have it on your savings account. Bottom line, it's not that hard to get $300. It's hard to get $100,000, but you don't have to find $100,000. It's just $300. Let's say that you have them. What do you do? It's actually quite simple. Look, the video is about making $5,000 a week. If you invest $300 yourself into a broker, you're not going to turn it into $5,000 a week easily. Can you do it? Maybe you can, yeah. I mean, why not? Is it easy? Not at all. What do you do with the $300? This is my advice. Again, going back to my screen, go to Hola Prime in the link in the description of this video and go where it says funding plans, or you just scroll down. Take a look. This is the Hola Prime journey. And these are all the options that you have to buy a funded account. Now, let's say for instance that you have $300. The plan that you can acquire with that money is actually this one right here for $50,000. So imagine this. You meet someone on the street and you're like, hey, I have $300 and I'm a great trader, but it's gonna take forever for me to actually turn this into real money or into very good money. And you meet someone that has $50,000 and says, hey, give me the $300, I'll give you my $50,000 account so you can trade with me and we can split the profits. That's exactly what it is. What is it that you do? You can buy a $50,000 account. Obviously, if you have more money, you can buy a bigger account. Or if you have less money, you can have a smaller account. For instance, for $100, just one of these bills can get you $10,000 in your account. Even if you only have $50, you can get a $5,000 account. Bottom line, no excuses not to use a prop firm nowadays. Unless you don't want to, of course, right? What happens with this specific account? Well, all you have to do, first of all, you got two challenges to pass. Number one, you gotta make 8% profits. And once you make 8% profits, they'll give you a new account with the same amount of money, but you only need to make 5% profits. How is that good? I mean, if you are able to prove that you're able to make 13% in profits, you're given an actual $50,000 account. And whatever amount of money you make, you keep that money. If you're able to make $5,000 a week with a $50,000 account, guess what? Yep, you can keep that money. You can withdraw that money. As simple as that. There are a few challenges that you need to actually keep in consideration. You can't lose more than 5% in one single day, okay? So let's say 5% of this is $2,500. If you lose more than $2,500, your account will automatically be blocked. Why? Because you proved that you're not a good trader, okay? So you have to have risk management. We're gonna jump into what the strategy is that you should use in order for you to actually turn the $300 into $5,000, okay? But you can't lose more than 5% or 8% overall. So you lose 4% a day, you can lose your account, or you lose 4% tomorrow, and that's it. Your account is automatically blocked. Once you actually decide to do this, this is exactly what you should do with $300, the bottom line. Now, Chris, what's the best account I can get? This is important. Look, just because I'm saying that $300 will do the trick, that doesn't mean that you have to have $300. You have to have less or you have to have more. The $300 is just an example, okay? It's just an example as to what you could do with only $300. But if you have $500, you can actually double that to an $100,000 account. If you have $1,000, you can get a $200,000 account. And if you have $1,250, you can get a $300,000 account. That's the one that I have. I have one for $300 and two for $100, a total of $500,000. The best one that I recommend, in my opinion, is the $100,000. Why? Because you can leverage a pretty good amount of money in there and you're not gonna be emotional because you're trading with $300,000. At least if you're a beginner. If you can afford the 300 and you have some experience, then you're good to go. But in my opinion, it's between the $50,000 and the $100,000. Chris, I don't have even $300. What should I do? Whatever amount you have that you can afford any of these accounts, go ahead and get it. Could be a $200, could be an $89 or $48. Okay? Do you have more expensive accounts? Yeah, as a matter of fact, if you actually choose one step only, you can actually even have a slightly more expensive, but you only have to have one challenge, not 2 steps. And if you actually have more money, then you can get an actual funded account that costs. The $5,000 one is $235. The 100 is $470. The 25,000, 1,000, up until the 100,000, which is $4,500. Do I recommend you these accounts? If you're experienced, yeah, you can start making money immediately. Or if you actually don't have that much money, which pretty much means that you're not that experienced, then you can get this one right here. Not the 2-step prime, but the 2-step pro. One thing that you need to keep in mind is just the leverage. Okay, in the prime, you only have 30 to 1, and the pro, you have 100 to 1. That's just my opinion. It's really completely up to you. Now, let's start with the juicy part. Chris, I already have my account, or I'm purchasing my account, or I already had an account before. I want to learn how to turn these $300 into $5,000 a week. In order for me to teach you this, you need to have 2 things in mind. Number 1, I'm gonna teach you a strategy. There's no trick. There's nothing like, hey, trade this pair, always buy in, and you're gonna be rich. No, there's a strategy behind. But this is the strategy that I personally use, and I'm gonna teach you exactly how to use it. I've actually talked about this specific strategy in the past, but it's always good to, pretty much understand how to use it. And step number 1 in this strategy, I only trade with 2 pairs, US 30 and NASDAQ. NAS 100, US 100, depending on how it appears into your account. US 30, it's like 80% of the times, and NASDAQ like 20% of the times. Okay, so I'm gonna teach you the strategy using US 30. I'm gonna keep it super simple, and we're gonna trade with 50-minute charts. That's it. And we're gonna trade at 8:30 in the morning because that's New York open market time. If you're watching this with daylight savings, it opens at 7:30 Central Standard Time. You just need to adapt, okay? Just learn what time the New York market opens, and that's where you're gonna start. That's bottom line. I use this indicator that is pretty much telling me what the New York session is, and that's basically, tells me like what time the New York session is gonna start, but the asset itself opens at 8:30 in the morning. But let's go ahead and start with one example. First thing that we're gonna do, number 1 thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna find the support and resistance level of the last few hours. There's no specific moment or specific time that you're gonna select the support and resistance. Just try to find the best support and resistance. For instance, this one right here, and this is an example of a trade that I placed during this month, January the 3rd. Take a look at the actual support level. It was, the resistance level was chosen based on this right here. This was a manipulation price. It went back and boom, it broke all the sell positions. I'm not gonna explain what manipulation is in stock market, but you just gotta understand it. And this is the support level. As you can see, it was a resistance before. Once it got broken, it got respected many times. Once you identify that, all you need to do is enter on the breakout. If it breaks going down, you're gonna enter going down. If it breaks going up, you're gonna enter going up. As simple as that. We have a resistance and we have a support. If the price breaks down, I'm gonna enter a sell. But I'm gonna put my entry price slightly below the level so that I make sure that it did break. And my stop loss is gonna be slightly above the actual, resistance in case it actually drops, retests, and goes back down. Because if I actually put it right here, if it comes back and retest, I'm gonna get stopped out. So no, we're gonna put it right here. And I always go 5 to 1, but I close partial when needed and so on. This is what I would do in that specific moment. I have two possible setups, up or down. And then I wait for the market to open in order to actually activate my trade. Looking at this example, you're gonna realize that it continued to move like this. Market open in New York session, it's at 7 a.m. This is when the market itself opens. The US 30 and NASDAQ opens at 8:30, 1 hour and a half after. So here, the markets are open. This is 8 a.m. Right here, I'm always looking at my charts at least 1 hour prior. So I start looking at 7:30, looking at my charts in order to understand what entries I'm gonna have. It seems like it broke this level right here, as you can see. It closing that level. So I put my pending order and boom, it got activated. This is a 5-to-1 trade. I enter, you notice my stop loss is slightly below, the support level, and then it continues to do that and boom. Did I lose it? Not entirely, because this is something that I always do. I move my stop loss 1R risk reward ratio at a time. So when it gets to level 1, right there, I move my stop loss to the entry level. When it reaches the second level right here, I move my stop loss to the first level, to the 1-to-1. If it reaches the 3, I'm gonna move it all the way to the 2-to-1. It didn't this time. It actually retracted. Therefore, we have a 1-to-1. Since this one wasn't activated, I just ignore it. But since we are having a $50,000 account as an example, how much can we risk? We're gonna be placing 1 trade per day, or 2 sometimes. So you are actually living in this crazy world where you can invest 1% of your balance. If I were you were a complete beginner, 0.5, you don't dominate the strategy as much, 0.5. You wanna get risky, 1%. You would have to lose 5 days in a row, actually 8 days in a row, and not winning any trade at all before you actually lose that account, that 8%. Therefore, I think you can do 1%. So that's $500 because we ended up at 1-to-1. So $500, right? We stick to the $500 and we move on to the next session. So it's actually a pretty simple strategy, isn't it? Let me just go ahead and move it faster. And we got today number 2. All right, there you go. New York session actually opened right here. So I got 2 options. I can have the breakout going up or going down, okay? This is 8:45, this is 8 a.m. Take a look, 8:15. The New York market is gonna be open in 2, and the next candlestick, pretty much at the end of the next candlestick. So I have a support level and I have a resistance level, but I also see a trend line because this candlestick went all the way down. So if I notice, it actually reached again. So I have a trend line. I got 2 options here. The support level was already broken, okay? It was broken, but it was respected as a resistance right here. And I have a trend line. This is what my logic says. It's easier for it to break in this direction because there's a huge imbalance in all of this area. Take a look. The market actually needs to fill out this space. At least that's what my logic says. I'm just gonna wait for a breakout going down. If the trend line gets broken, that's when I enter. And this is a double confirmation. That's the reason why you see all this setup. Because if the price continues to go up like it did, I don't feel comfortable going into this buy position, honestly. Like the price is going up too much. I feel like it has to retract and fill out the imbalance. So I didn't enter that one. I waited, and exactly what happened is that it was a retraction. It kept on testing, and here I set up the pending order. This was in this section. I set up the pending order. This was an unusual trade. Take a look. It could have been a winner, but it retracted, manipulating the price, bringing the price down. I continue trusting the trend line. I actually send this as a pending order to the people in the group, and take a look. It got activated right now. It continues, it dropped a lot, it dropped a lot, it dropped, and boom, 5-to-1. This is a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio trade. This is actually on Monday. Last trade, I think it wasn't on Friday? All right, let's say it wasn't Friday. Monday, 5-to-1. How much is 5-to-1 on a $500 trade? It's $2,500. Boom. You got $3,000 in 2 days. Does it always happen like that? Obviously no. Right? But you're looking at a great example as to what is it that I look when I'm trading. All right, Tuesday started. So we're in Tuesday, New York market opens And take a look at this trend line. I really like it. And I do like that the previous support level was broken, so it might be respected at this specific moment. We need to make sure we understand like why the breakout is so important. When you're actually trading with support and resistance levels and you trade, let's say for instance, when the support level is touched, go in a buy position, when the resistance is touched, go in a sell position, it's actually quite 50% probabilities, okay? You're going 50-50 because the price can actually break or it can retract. When you go with breakouts, it's like a 70-30. Because if it already broke, you only have very few chances that the price will retract. So I'd rather go with the breakouts. I hope that's actually making sense. Let's take a look. This is the trend line that I draw, thinking that the price can actually retract. Take a look. It broke this support level slightly, but then it retracted. So it's a 50% probability. But here's the huge difference on the breakout. Take a look at how it broke the price. This was at 9 a.m. This is the market open candlestick. It took 2 more candlesticks to actually do this movement. And even came back to retest the level. I know market open times is just crazy. I probably should have closed it. I would have closed it somewhere here, to be honest. But keeping the actual like setup in consideration, it's another 5-1. Has it opened? Does it happen all the time the same way? No. But this time it did. So what? 2,500. How much do we have in profits right now? $5,500 in 3 days. I only trade 4 days a week, but in 3 days, $5,000 out of a $50,000 account. If this was the first step challenge that you had, you already passed it. If it was the second, of course you did. And if it's a funded, you can withdraw $5,000 at the end of the week. Does that make sense? It's super simple, right? But I don't want to just leave you as it is. I want to share with you more examples, okay? So here, the New York market is going to open eventually. All of these lines, by the way, are lines that I actually have when I'm trading. So take a look. I got this resistance level that is right here. This is a manipulation, but it still counts. This is a support level that is also a resistance right here. And we have the bottom level right here. This is the lowest that the market actually reached on the previous session. You can just draw the line. I'm not going to, but that's what I was looking at that specific moment. Now, here's the deal. You don't see any setup right here. The reason why there's no setup right here is simply because I didn't see anything clear. I didn't know if the price was actually gonna break here. And even if it broke here, it could just retract from this level. And if it broke to this level, it could stop. I mean, the only thing that would have made me trade would have been something extremely hard. Not even like small breakout, but breaking this level too. So something around here. And take a look at the stop loss. Would have been too big. I didn't see anything clear. I didn't trade. And this is something they have to learn too. Take a look at what literally happened right here. If I would have entered even with the breakout of this previous support level and put my stop loss here, I even hit the stop loss. I didn't see anything clear and I'm like, I'm not going in. By this time, it's 15:30 in the afternoon, so I don't trade there. I trade at the most 10 a.m. in the morning. So 2 hours of session or something like that. This right here, I didn't see anything as well. I didn't see anything cool. As a matter of fact, you know what? Oh, this is Tuesday. All right, I don't even know why the session is so short. But take a look at what I saw on this specific setup. I saw the highest level, even though there was already a manipulation, probably because of the news, something here around 7:30 a.m. It created a new resistance. This was the support level on these wicks right here, but there was another support level in here. Some people would actually put the entry right here, ignoring this wick. I'm not gonna do that. I'd rather be safe. And there you go. As you can see, I put my entry point below the level so that it can be a good breakout. And I put my stop loss slightly above that resistance level so that you could actually see 5-1, easy, right? Let's see another analysis. This happened, even got back to retest. This was on, let me see, Monday. So that was on Friday. Let's take a look at what happened on Monday. Monday, I do see 2 levels. This one right here, that is a support level. It could even be this one right here, but this one's fine. And this is the resistance level. If you notice, the resistance level is based on these levels too. So I actually think that it could break up or down. It ended up breaking up. And within 3 candlesticks, boom, 5-1. This is the actual strategy that I use. I don't wanna like get you bored and all of these details, but hopefully you understand how the strategy actually works. So yeah, this is the strategy I use every day. Question right here is, Chris, can I make $5,000 per week? You saw it yourself. Obviously, looking at backwards is way easier than doing it every day. But the answer, yeah, it is possible. It's not something impossible. Obviously, the bigger your account, the more you can make. Even if you traded with a 0.5%, you would make around let's say 0.5% for a 5-to-1 risk reward. We're talking about a 2.5%. If you win 3 of them and you lose one day, that's 3-to-1, you would have made 750 minus the 50. So 7% balance increase in the week. In a $50,000 account, that's what, like 3,000 something? Yeah, $3,500. If you had a $100,000 account, that's a $7,000, right? If you replicate that on a weekly basis, obviously always taking the day as a loss, we're talking about a 28% balance increase every month. So on a $50,000 account, we're talking about $10,000. A $100,000 account, we're talking about $28,000 a month. It is doable. What you need to understand is, number one, this is all math. So it's as simple as math. You risk this amount of money in order to make that amount of money. Obviously, there are gonna be days where you're gonna close partials and instead of 2,500, you're gonna make 1,000, 1,500. But the point is to always try to make more than when you risk, right? So even if you don't make, let's say 7% a week, you can make 5% a week. Yeah, it is doable, all right? But try to watch this video as many times as possible, or try to rewind it, try to save it and watch it as many times as you can, because yeah, it is possible for sure. If you feel like, yeah, it is possible, but you want to copy my trades, you want to see my trades when I actually see, setups like this, I always send them to you. How can you be part of it? There's a link in the description to my BLW private room, which is blwsignalsgroup.com. This group right here, you go to this website, watch the video to understand, click on Start Making Money Now, and you're gonna be taken to a website where I explain everything in regards to it. It's pretty much, you are added to a private Telegram channel and you can actually start copying our trades. As simple as that. You go in there, and every day at 7:30, pretty much 7 a.m., I send my setups, or 8 a.m., I send my setups and say, hey, this is what I think is gonna happen in the market. And I share the trades that I personally take. I explain how much money you can make and so on. So definitely something that you should consider if you wanna copy my trades, if you wanna see the same setups I'm having. And plus, I have 3 other people sending signals every single day in that same Telegram group. So you can copy all of the trades. I have a lot of people sending me messages, hey Chris, I passed my funded account, hey Chris, and now I funded trader, and so on. So definitely something that you should consider. Go ahead and check it out at blwsignalsgroup.com. Hey, so hopefully you enjoyed the content of this video and you learned something new. If you did, go ahead and smash the like button as usual to support this YouTube channel. And more importantly, if you have any questions or comments to share, you can always use the comment section below. My team will be happy to reply to you. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.